Good morning. Well, today I was supposed to head out to see my friends from the 150th New York, which was a local Civil War reenacting group in my hometown. But because of the government shutdown, one can assume that they are not here. Now, rumor has it that they might be sitting or staged at some of the New York monuments. So I'm going to cruise around. Maybe I'll catch them. Maybe I don't. It'll be very unfortunate. I skipped a whole seminar in Fredericksburg to come down and see these guys. So be sure to thank your local senator for screwing up my weekend. But how bad could it be? I'm in Gettysburg, so we're going to enjoy ourselves, whether the government wants me to or not.
Well, if he gets a good picture of it, he can send it to me.
Well, I have been driving around the battlefield, which is enjoyable, but I am trying to find something. Found a park ranger. So if I can talk to a park ranger and see if he knows of the whereabouts of any reenactors, that would greatly help. I see his car here, but I don't see him. Standing on the porch of the ranger station, I have tried knocking. No one's answering. His car is on, so he must be inside. But he's probably not getting paid right now, so he's probably not very happy.
It says there's no single YouTube channel named History Recon that is widely known. It is possible you're misremembering a name.
Well, if you're going to Google History Recon, yeah, I'm not widely known.
No, you just go on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, just go on the YouTube channel.
Itself and then go History Recon.
Yeah, and type in History Recon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not widely known. Not yet. Getting there. Well, after unsuccessfully looking for the 150th New York, I decided to go out to the monument. And there were two gentlemen that happened to know the guy that runs the 150th. They gave him a phone call. You might have seen him in previous videos. He's the kind of the guy that looks like Lee Van Cleef.
Firing by the drum, by the bugle, the call is bum 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 bang. The drum, bum 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 bum, ready, bum 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 bum, aim, bum 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 bang. So the men would never be able to do that. Typically, as an officer, I have buglers standing with me to echo my commands musically.
That was very loud. But he's the guy that looks like Lee Van Cleef. Called him. He's actually at work back home in New York. They got the phone call that the event was canceled due to the government shutdown. So thanks to all our representatives in Washington. But had a nice conversation with the guys. That was very nice. And now I am up here on the top of Culp's Hill, standing just in front of Old Pap Green. So, unfortunately, no 150th New York today. I'll have to catch them at another event. They are local guys. I'm sure I'll film them again soon. There are living historians supposedly down at the Rupp House today. So I'm going to make my way back into town. Maybe I'll park at the house, and film them. I stopped here at Stevens Knoll, and look at that beautiful gatehouse over there. So I'm gonna have to get closer to that. I absolutely love the restoration work they're doing to it, and I've been waiting for it to be somewhat completed. It looks like it has a new paint job, so I'm gonna go check that out. It's not fully complete yet, but it does look beautiful from back here. Wow, some nice job they did on this restoration. Now the caretaker, which does live here, this is his personal residence, named Brian Kennel, wrote a book about the gatehouse, Beyond the Gatehouse, which gives you a little bit more information as far as everything about the place. He's also wrote that book, or co-wrote that book, the children's book that I bought yesterday. But, wow, that looks nice. All right, just parked the car at the house. I'm gonna make my way down Baltimore Street, down to the Rupp House. There was living historians down there. Didn't look like a big to-do, but we'll go check it out. Maybe stop in at the Sweeney Tavern, see what's going on there. And then we'll work our way back up Baltimore, do a couple of stores, and then ultimately make my way back around to the Jack Hopkins house at about 3 o'clock for their presentation. Like I said, they have a small group of living historians here. So we'll breeze through here, see what they have to offer, and then we'll make our way back up Baltimore.
That's General John Buford over there, okay, 1st Cavalry Division. This is Lieutenant Colonel Solomon of the 82nd Illinois, and that's Brigadier General Henry Hunt, Chief of Artillery for the Army of the Potomac. I'm Major Hugo Hildebrand. I commanded the 39th New York Volunteer Infantry, the Garibaldi Guard. And these over here are our ladies for the Union. In some cases, they are spouses of the different officers.
Well, first thing was about 5 miles south of here, and that was a talk that I had with General Reynolds as we went by his headquarters. Find out what the latest was from General Lee, find out what General Reynolds' orders were before we came into town. We got in here between 11 and noon, and we had just ridden 40 miles, 2 days in a row, getting up here. And at that point, I had to send the men out in at least a 270-degree arc, excuse me, to see what they could of the Confederates, figure out what they're where they're coming from, where they're heading to. And that is the prime directive for cavalry, is to find out what the other person's up to and keep them from finding out what you're up to. We came into town, and the lead element of the 8th Illinois was heading west towards Chambersburg and Cashtown. Found out that my old hunting buddy, Henry Heath, was in charge of the division closest to us. Since I knew a little bit of Henry's character, that made the planning for the next day. Excuse me. Planning for the next day a lot easier. I knew that if I just prodded him, he may do something that he would regret.
I had to record the TV. General Buford was on. We just talked to him. Making my way down Baltimore Street, I got sucked in to the sanctuary for a quick refreshment. Don't want to dehydrate on my walk up the town. Need to buy a few things. Don't know if I'll get it today or tomorrow, but I got some time to kill. So just gonna relax and enjoy myself. It has been a very relaxing, enjoyable weekend so far. Not a ton or entertaining for videos, but for me, it's been very, very nice. All right, making my way down Baltimore Street again. I would like to say that the staff at the Sweeney Tavern is absolutely fantastic. They are so nice there. But right now I find myself back at the Maryland Sutler. And yes, I picked up my rifle yesterday at Regimental Quartermaster's, but I need a sling. They didn't have any. So I'm gonna pop up in here, see if I can find a sling, and then I'll proceed downtown and see what else I can buy. I just finished up with the Maryland Sutler. Got a sling, papers, and caps. So we're gonna continue on down Baltimore, see what we can get into. Maybe spend some more money, we'll see. Thaddeus Stevens. Stopped in here at Dirty Billy's. Gonna have to get me a hat, I think. But Billy's not here today, so I'm gonna have to come in tomorrow and get a hat sized and made to perfection. So that's on the list for tomorrow. What's on the list for right now? Is lunch somewhere. All right, I now find myself right out in front of the David Wills house. I'm gonna have to take a seat here and figure out what I want to do for lunch. I was making my way towards the pizza place, but I'm gonna see what else there is. I want to see what my options are. I'd like to try something different. All right, took a seat outside the Gettysburg Hotel. Frank and I's hotel of choice when visiting Gettysburg. We're gonna find someplace to eat here. I need to do some Googling. Oh, you know what's down here that I've never eaten at, and it is in the direction that I need to go after lunch, is the Gettysburger. So we'll try that out.
I got above and beyond. Love it.
Well, that was a workout. That was the Gettysburger. And that meal, though good, I had to take a shower afterwards. Luckily, my house is on the way to the next event. So I came back here, washed my face, and cleaned up after eating that massive thing they served me. All right, next stop is the Jack Hopkins house, where they will be doing some kind of ceremony to dedicate the new African American Museum for all the black families that lived here in Gettysburg and Adams County. Don't know exactly what that's all about, so we're going to go and hopefully get some more info once we get down there.
Hello, I'm Tim Smith with the Adams County Historical Society, and today we're kicking off our fundraiser drive to raise money for the Hopkins House Museum. So this will be a museum in Gettysburg that focuses on the black community from the formation of our town until the time of the Civil War and beyond. And we're going to highlight the house that was owned by Jack Hopkins, who was one of the more prominent black citizens of Gettysburg at the time of the battle. His son, along with other black citizens of Adams County, served in the United States colored troops. We also will have an office for Lincoln Cemetery, where there are about 30 United States colored troops buried, and we're going to have a sort of a little interactive museum that highlights local black history, along with the role that Gettysburg area played in the Underground Railroad. So if you'd like to donate to the project, you can visit the Adams County Historical Society's website or gettysburghistory.org to learn more about it. It was a 1.5-story log cabin at the time. So we're going to rip that facade off of it and return it to the way it looked originally. Should be pretty cool. So you can see, and of course, this is a view from the top of the Evergreen Cemetery Gatehouse, taken in July of 1863. And of course, we're looking down Baltimore Street, and you can see in this photograph, it's probably our best view of South Washington Street as existed at the time of the battle. And you see the 1.5-story log house. So it was not unusual for logs to be painted with whitewash at that time. So you can see it's kind of whitewashed. Here's another log structure that still stands at the corner of Breckenridge and South Washington Street. And you can see that log on that one. This is the Jenny Wade House. So not far away. Interesting. So Basil Biggs and his family, another prominent black citizen of the town, of course at the time of the battle lived in Cumberland Township, but he later bought a house in Gettysburg, and here's his family outside of the house, just a few houses up here on South Washington Street. And, you know, we're going to highlight the black community in Gettysburg prior to the war, during the war, and after the war. And here's a 1920s photograph with a large amount of the people that lived along South Washington Street in it. This photograph was taken at a house on West High Street, just a short distance away from us here. It's fascinating. And then we have a brochure over there. Oh,
And
you
the
want to see
plane
this
crash
table?
over the Potomac in January. A lot.
So we've already done a lot of restoration to the inside of the structure and returned the inside to its original log structure. When you look in the window, you can see some of this. And all these items here we found inside the walls of the house, between the original log cabin and the outside of the house. And, you know, old houses accumulate a lot of stuff. We also have, we don't have on display here, shoes that were found in the walls. You know, it's not unusual to find shoes inside of an old house. You know, people did it for good luck, or to ward off spirits, or whatever you want to say about that. And also, in the backyard, we did an archaeological dig. We found hundreds of oyster shells. And Jack Hopkins' son, who's named John Edward Hopkins, we know in the 1870s, for a short time, he ran an oyster saloon. And on High Street nearby, Owen Robinson ran an oyster saloon or an oyster business from the 1850s into the 1880s or 90s. So oysters were common, brought from the port of Baltimore up undoubtedly on a weekly basis here in Gettysburg. And if you want, you can take one of our brochures here to read more about it. So we'll give you one of those. It looks really nice.
Everyone, and thank you for coming out. We are going to start shortly, but before we start, I would like to have Pastor Roberts come and give a few words and give a blessing over this precious event today. So Pastor Roberts, if you would come forward, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. And she had me to say a few words. I'm lost for words, but I'm just so happy to see everyone here today on this occasion. A great turnout. We ask God blessing over this and give us traveling mercy to those that have traveled far and near to make this occasion a success. Let's look to the Lord at this time. Gracious Father, we come and thanking you once again for your goodness and your loving kindness and your tender mercies. As we go forward today, oh God, we ask that you look on this occasion. Bless those that worked so diligently down through the years to bring this to par. We ask for your blessings upon it today as we go forth, oh God, that everything will be all right. And oh God, as we travel down through the years after this occasion, people come through Gettysburg, they can see this situation, how it have started all the way from the beginning, all the way to the finishing part. Bless every endeavor that's going forth. Bless everyone that have contributed down through the years. We thank you and we give you all the praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Roberts. Well, good afternoon again. And thank you all again for being here for this very special day. My name is Jean Green, and I am president of Lincoln Cemetery Project Association. Our organization cares for Gettysburg's only Black cemetery, the resting place of more than 450 members of our community, including veterans of nearly every war, slaves and freedom seekers, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and generations of families who made this town their home. Lincoln Cemetery is proud to partner with Gettysburg History to make this announcement today. The Hopkins House will be the first museum in downtown Gettysburg devoted to Black history, and I believe it will be one of the most important projects our community has ever seen.
I am very happy to be here, and this means a lot to me, and I generally don't get emotional in public. But when I was running for mayor the first time, the woman who lived in this house, Rosie, supported me and took my cards around and handed them out. She was one of my first supporters. So this home means a lot to me personally. And I think it's just great that we're gonna have an African American museum in Gettysburg. Now what I'm going to do, everybody's told you all this history, but I'm proud to serve as mayor of Gettysburg. I did something. I'm the first woman and the first African American to be elected. And it's so funny, people ask me, they said, why did you do that? I said, since I was 4 years old, I wanted to be mayor of Gettysburg or president of the United States. I had high ambitions. But anyway, this means so much to me. And just a little bit more of the history of this neighborhood. Across the street is the Gettysburg Academy. That was forerunner of Gettysburg College and the seminary. Anybody else that goes back to Gettysburg, right there was Calvin Lovett's barbershop. He was the first Black barber in Gettysburg. All the way down this street, it's filled with history. I live right beside the AME Zion Church in a Civil War house. And I'm proud to be a part of this neighborhood. I grew up here, I played here, I had fun in high school here. Hey, you gotta keep it late. But anyway, but it's not only about our history, our Black history, it's about American history. And I keep saying this, and I wanna drive this home. That battle that was down the street from here, well, actually it went all through the streets from here, saved our nation. And with the 250th anniversary of our nation coming out, remember, the Union was born in Philadelphia, but it was preserved right here in Gettysburg.
I'm Dalton. I'm the president and CEO of Gettysburg History. Thank you all so much for being here with us today. Before I begin, I just want to thank the English family and the Gettysburg Academy for hosting us across the street. After we finish, you're more than welcome to go over, and we've got some refreshments and some beautiful pictures and artifacts to look at. Not long ago, this house was in danger of being lost forever. It had been condemned, filled with debris, and demolition was a near certainty. But thanks to the quick action of several donors, we were able to save it. And today, instead of being erased from the landscape of this town, the Hopkins House is on the way to becoming a world-class museum right here in the heart of Gettysburg. Over the past 2 years, we've developed plans for the home's future. During exploratory work inside, we were thrilled to discover that the original 1840s log walls remain intact. These timbers will be carefully preserved by experts and revealed during the restoration, so the visitors can step inside and even touch the very walls that sheltered Jack Hopkins and their family. I am proud to announce that this restoration will begin in the fall, within a matter of weeks. And to achieve the highest standard, we are partnering once again with Healy Kohler Design, a world-class museum design firm in Washington, D.C. They will help us bring this dream to life with immersive exhibits and a modern addition that will welcome students, families, and visitors from across the nation. Thank you so much for being here, for contributing, for honoring these stories, for finding enough time to join us and share in this moment. And I know that together we're gonna get this done. We've done big projects before. We're gonna do this one with all of your help and support. And I'm confident in 2027, we'll be opening the doors to a beautiful new facility here. Thank you so much. And now it is my distinct honor to welcome a very special guest to the podium. She is the great-great-granddaughter of Basil Biggs, a remarkable historical figure in Gettysburg's past who will be highlighted prominently at this museum. And he lived at the very end of his life in that brick home just at the corner of the road. Anna DeVere Smith is an acclaimed actress, playwright, and educator whose artistry has captivated audiences around the world for more than 4 decades. Through her work, she has given voice to communities, lifted up untold stories, and reminded us of the power and empathy of storytelling. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to our friend and champion who came all the way from New York City this morning to be with us, Anna DeVere Smith.
I actually came further. You don't know this, Andrew, because you would feel guilty, but I'll publicly make you so. I was on a writing retreat in the very northern part of California in Mendocino County by the Pacific Ocean, where even a mountain lion went through my backyard. And I cut it short in order to be here, because what you're doing, Andrew, is so, so important. And my sister, Jennifer, my youngest sister, she always reminds me that she will always be my younger sister. I want to publicly thank you for everything that you're doing. Yes, I'm the great-great-granddaughter of Basil Biggs. I grew up coming to Gettysburg as a child and seeing my Aunt Hannah Biggs, whose house is not that far from here, and stopping off in Harrisburg to see my great-aunt Julia Biggs and going down New York to see my great-uncle, Basil Biggs. And my brother's middle name is Biggs. My favorite uncle's name is Biggs. I have a cousin, Basil. However, it wasn't until 2014 when Henry Louis Gates, as you know, historian at Harvard, did my roots on his show, Finding Your Roots, that he told a story about Basil Biggs and several that I had never heard. And I couldn't believe it. I've been coming up here, running around in the battlefield, seeing Aunt Hannah, and not knowing some key facts about my ancestor. One was that he got the contract to hire the men who disinterred the dead after the battle. Now, in her book, This Republic of Suffering, Drew Faust, first woman president of Harvard, helps us realize how fragile identity was at that time. This wasn't, there was no system for identifying soldiers. So a lot of people died in that battlefield. We don't know who they are. Their wives and children didn't know what happened to them. And so to imagine my great-great-grandfather and the men with him pulling up these bodies and with others trying to find shreds of evidence of who these people were. History is fragile. History is monuments. History is encyclopedias. History is buildings. We think of very smart people who tell us the story of histories, but that image in and of itself tells me that history is fragile. It's active. That's what we're here to celebrate today with the work of building a world-class Black History Museum and the work that will happen to renovate this house. When I came here to start writing the play, I was fragile. I actually haven't written anything about my family. I've written many plays that are about other people, about America, very often people unlike me, very often people with different ideas that I have about America. This is my first play, and I'm 75 years old, that's about my family. And when I came here, Andrew and Miss Jean and Tim welcomed me into their archives. I think I could probably set up a pup tent outside and they'd let me do it. And so I'm just so moved and encouraged and inspired to see all of you here, because one of the words that's coming up a lot today is the word partnership. And so it's impossible to know the full story of our country, the full stories of the struggles of humans all over the world without partnerships like this. That's what it's going to take to build this museum. You're $1 million there, and I'm going to close by being absolutely crass and saying that no check is too small. Even these two little boys right there, yeah, you, a quarter matters. History is fragile. Let's embrace our history. Let's keep it alive. Thank you.
That gentleman right there recognized me, nice guy. Got to talking to him for a few minutes. So that concludes the event here, which was rather nice. They do have some refreshments and pictures up here. This is where I was with Tim before. So I'll breeze through here and see if there's anything else to see, anybody else to meet. And then I have dinner at 6 o'clock. So I'm gonna go home, probably freshen up. I do have some time, so I might go to one or two other places, but ultimately, gotta freshen up, get dressed up real nice, and we'll head out to Adams County for dinner. All right, I made it back to Adams County Historical Society Beyond the Battle Museum, where they are putting on a dinner and presentations. I believe that this is also a part of the Jack Hopkins Museum and all that with the African American history here in Gettysburg. So there should be some presentations. I'm going to film as much as I can and just enjoy my evening. So I may not film as all that much, just going to enjoy myself and have a nice dinner. It is an open bar, so might get a little crazy tonight. I ran into Tim Smith upstairs, and I told him I felt a little awkward. Everybody seems to know each other, and I don't know exactly where to go or who to sit with. But so I'm just gonna kind of go in the back. I'd like to go in the front. I can't hear with a darn. So I'd like to sit in the front. So hopefully I can squeeze in the front, but I'd rather sit in the back just to kind of be hidden since no one knows me. But I was recognized twice today, and both guys told me the same thing. They both said that they like the fact that I'm just a regular guy and I don't know history, but I enjoy the historic locations. So I guess that's a compliment-ish. And it's true. I love history. Do I know everything? No. I know more about movie trivia and action figures than I know about history. I love history though, and I love visiting historic locations. And that's why I do my videos. So if people enjoy my videos just to see a guy enjoying himself in these places that some of you guys enjoy too, well then perfect. If you want history, well, there's better channels than me. There's History Underground and Project Past, not to mention, Gettysburg History and American Battlefield Trust. But just a regular guy enjoying himself. And look at me now, having dinner with people that I don't know, and they don't know me. But it's going to be a good night because I enjoy it, and so do they. So I'm going to get back upstairs and enjoy myself.
I have some very special news to share with you. After many years of work and dedication, Lincoln Cemetery has now been placed on the National Register of Historic Places. For our community, this has been more than just a designation. It is recognition that the lives and stories of those buried there matter, and that they are part of the American history and story. I also want to say how thankful I am for the partnership between Lincoln Cemetery and Gettysburg History. Together, we are doing something extraordinary. The campaign we launched today is not only about saving a house or building, a museum. It is about honoring the dignity of our ancestors and making sure future generations see themselves reflected in Gettysburg history. I am deeply proud.
Whoa, no.
Anna, meet your great-great-grandparents.
Wow.
That's Basil Biggs.
Right. Well, I have an Uncle Basil. Yes.
Well, now you know why.
Wow.
And that is your great-great-grandmother, Mary Jackson. You never heard of these people?
Never.
In 1858, Basil, a free man of color and a veterinarian, moved his wife and 4 children from the slave state of Maryland to the free state of Pennsylvania. But he couldn't have chosen a more dangerous place to move. In the summer of 1863, just 5 years after arriving in Pennsylvania, Basil Biggs would find himself right in the middle of one of the most devastating battles in the history of war, the Battle of Gettysburg.
The only colored persons in this section, the Biggs family, was warned to leave this section with the approach of the Confederate troops.
Okay, so
wow!
Your ancestors fled
Unbelievable.
the Confederate invasion.
My God, that's a story right there. That's amazing. That's a play.
Basil Biggs lived his last few years, and I'm just so thrilled to have all of you with us and a part of this project to establish a Black History Museum in downtown Gettysburg. We have some information outside in the hallway about that if you haven't already gotten the leaflets and the pledge forms, but we so appreciate everyone's generosity, and this is it's a milestone for us to create this museum. And I think of all the students who come to Gettysburg every year and the fact that they'll be able to connect with this story and find the inspiration and pride that Anna found through this show and her continued research. I'm so thrilled about where we are. So thank you to everyone who's been involved. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce our special guest this evening. And again, we're so thrilled to have her here. I remember watching that clip, I think, in 9th grade when it came out, 10th grade. And we were all so excited. Sorry, I didn't mean to date myself there. But we were all thrilled that, we didn't know about this connection, and Skip Gates really unearthed this for us. And so hopefully we'll have him here one day and we can screen the full episode with you both. Anna DeVere Smith is an acclaimed American storyteller credited with creating verbatim theater. In this form, she conducts in-depth interviews with real people and then performs their words on stage, embodying multiple characters to illuminate complex issues. She's received the National Endowment for the Humanities Medal from President Obama, a MacArthur Fellowship, several Obie Awards, the George Polk Award in Journalism, the Dean's Medal from Stanford University School of Medicine, 2 Tony nominations, and she was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. Her plays and film adaptations include Fires in the Mirror, Twilight Los Angeles, Let Me Down Easy, and Notes from the Field, available on HBO. Her play, This Ghost of Slavery, published by The Atlantic, was only the second play to appear in the magazine's entire 168-year history. On screen, she has appeared in Inventing Anna, Nurse Jackie, Blackish, For the People, and of course, The West Wing, which I am a huge fan of. And her work also includes Philadelphia, The American President, and Rachel Getting Married. She continues to appear in television and film. She's currently a professor at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts and was the 2024 Eastman Professor at Oxford. She holds numerous honorary degrees, including from Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, Spelman, Juilliard, and Oxford. It is a true honor to welcome my friend, Anna DeVere Smith, to the stage. Yeah.
You know, the whole gang. Where's Tim, the one that's always slipping me stuff?
He is. He's always got something up his sleeve. Well, thank you for being here. This is truly an honor. And I'm curious, first of all, if you have seen that clip in the years since. Or...
No, I don't watch myself. So I saw it once at a screening at the Museum of Modern Art. And of course, I was just as taken with the stories of Ken Burns and Anderson Cooper in it. So no, but I have to first of all say, 9th grade? And my sister, could my family please stand up? Just these are the additional descendants. At a really, that show came at an important time because my sister Jennifer and my cousin Leon were both starting at that time, if I'm right, to start family reunions. And, you know, this was a moment when also we had lost most of the people who, you know, we had visited up and down the Eastern Seaboard. That would be in that part of the Biggs family. My father was one of 6. Yeah. My mother was one of 8. And so all those people who had told us stories were starting to drop off. And
well, the dinner just finished up, and that turned out to be a very great night. I did find a table. A great table, by the way. Had some nice conversations there. So appreciate everybody that sat with me and talked to me. It was very friendly. Had a nice conversation with the security guard too. He was a cool guy. But okay, from here, I think I have some time for a nightcap. Maybe head over to the Sweeney Tavern. I gotta take this off first. I gotta put on like a sweatshirt or something. I need to get a little more comfortable before I start wrestling some raccoons at the Sweeney Tavern. Well, making my way down to the Sweeney Tavern, I end up cutting down through Breckenridge Street, which, having a conversation with my father the other night and talking about Jenny Wade's birthplace and how she lived there and then she moved to the Breckenridge Street. Right there. That's where Jenny Wade lived. Can't go up there. I mean, people live there now. It is a private residence. But since I just happened to be walking down Breckenridge Street, I figured I'd mention it. And of course, when Gettysburg broke out, the Battle of Gettysburg broke out, Jenny Wade would move from there down to her sister's house on Baltimore Street. So there you go, a whole something to point out as I'm making my way down to Raccoon Alley of the Sweeney Tavern. All right, making my way down Baltimore Street. Thaddeus Stevens. Don't really have any plan, rhyme, or reason. Just going for a walk. As I walk past the Hopkins house, I think I'm going to end the video here and go to bed. I would like to thank Dave and his wife from Gettysburg Images for being so kind and not making me feel so awkward at the dinner tonight. And then Tim Smith, Gettysburg History, all the people involved with the Hopkins house. And I look forward to the next couple of years and seeing it come together. And then in 2027, I'll have to make sure I'm out here for the grand opening. It is the end of the night. But I'm not done in Gettysburg yet, so I'm going to go to bed, wake up tomorrow morning, and see where we go from there. Absolutely nothing planned for tomorrow. So we're going to see what we can get into. But I'm tired, so we're going to bed. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.